Hello, I'm Claudia, and it's really exciting to be here with you to talk about something I'm passionate about at the NEO. So today we are going beyond the usual sugar reduction talk, and we are diving into how replacing a regular sugar with a slow release sugar can add a valuable perspective into certain types of confectionery. And this change not only introduces a shift in the way we perceive sweets, but also how it merges nutritional benefits with technical improvements. And we are looking at this not just from a good on paper angle. I rather want to show you how the switch can also make an impact in your production process, like, for example, saving coding time. And on the health side, we are exploring benefits that may not always make the front page, but are incredibly important and often overlooked. And I know confectionery is a huge field, so let's keep it simple today and focus on three key applications. And in this way, we can really get into the specifics of how a slow release sugar works in different settings. And I hope you're still with me, even though we are talking about sugar, a topic that's often met with mixed feeling. So Julian Valentine, a respected trend scorer, hit the nail on the head, and he observed that despite people consistently ranking sugar avoidance as a top health behavior in surveys, high sugar products continue to sell well. And this presents an intriguing contradiction. And I have to admit, in my daily work, it is so fascinating how we find ourselves in this paradoxical situation with sugar. So on the one side, there's a strong movement towards reducing or replacing sugar, but on the other side, there's a certain resistance to changing the traditional sweet flavors we are used to. And perhaps it's time to realize that sugar replacement isn't just about reduction. And while reducing sugar is undoubtedly important, there are other narratives around sugar that might compel us to rethink our existing mindset. And to borrow a phrase from a famous German car manufacturer's slogans, it's about reparking in our heads. And let's keep going with what Julian Valentine shared and focus on a few big trends in sweets, especially how we are using sugar. And I have picked out a few trends to talk about, but also remember that this is just part of a much bigger picture. First up, let's talk about sweetness. So a big thing for 2024 is what we are calling the moderation mindset. So people are starting to prefer smaller treats that still use regular sugar, but don't skimp on taste. So in the world of sweets, we all know flavor usually wins over health. And now we are seeing chances to bring both together, sweetness and health. And now let's shift our focus to the positioning of the products. And also here, the New Nutrition Business Journal pointed out something really interesting about blood sugar. This is something that is going to come up. So, and it's not just about diabetes anymore. It's now a big part of what we call metabolic health, a term that regular folks are getting more familiar with. And this change opened up new ways to be creative with our sweets. And this is something which we already see in regular foods. Also, people are really interested in how food affects their mood and mind. But we can do better in making this a real benefit so that you feel the benefit. And there's a lot to talk about how mood, mind, and metabolic health all connect. So in the New Nutrition Business Report for 2024 says there's really a strong link between metabolic health and mood, which could lead to new kind of foods that help with this. Beside that, sugar and carbs are getting a new look too. So they've been seen as a good energy source, especially for people who like to do sports or staying active. And the idea of eating today for health tomorrow is also becoming more popular, and we see this in the kinds of people we are making sweets for. Which brings me to the target group. Positive aging is important, and if it's not the most talked about topic, I know. But as people get older, they usually want less sweet things. So there's more demand for these kind of products that have a lower sweetness, but still sweet. Gamers and people who love sports are also a big market for us. And you've probably seen those energy gummies that are really popular with athletes, and this is also coming up more and more. Another important thing is how we think about health and what science tells us. So we have to be careful about what we put in our packaging and in our ads. So we should be honest and real. So we use words like healthy, innovative, game-changing quite a lot, but we really have to mean them. And no single ingredient or product works for everyone, and we shouldn't try to make it seem like they do. And I've spent quite some time discussing trends, but let's pivot to the heart of the matter, the big question. How can we keep loving our sweet treats without messing up our health and really get what's going on with all the health talk? And I don't claim to have the perfect answer, nor do I believe there's a magic bullet solution. However, a compelling approach to addressing our quest for healthier sweetness could be found in a slow-release sugar, for example known as isomaltulose. And let's start with a bit of a background on its nutritional profile. So yes, it's a denatured sugar, composed of a glucose and a fructose molecule. And the key difference lies in its molecular structure. It's what we call a so-called 1.6 alpha glycoside bond. And this stronger linkage between glucose and fructose means that it takes longer to separate, resulting in a lower and slower increase in blood sugar levels. And yes, isomaltulose must be labeled as a sugar. It is a sugar, and like other sugars, it also provides 4 kilocalories per gram. So it won't reduce calories or the sugar content in the product. But this also means that it's fully digestible and well tolerated. It is less sweet, yes, but yet it retains a traditional sweetness profile without any off-taste because it's derived from sugar beet. And here's where it gets interesting. So despite being sugar, isomaltulose offers health benefit, primarily due to its impact on blood sugar levels. So it can be beneficial for overall blood sugar management, immunity, mental fitness, sports performance, weight management, and even cardiovascular health, as it helps keep blood vessels flexible, just to put it in layman's terms. And to be transparent, there are not claims for all of these benefits, but there's more research underway. And for blood sugar management, the key area of influencing the various health benefits, there is a recognized claim, and more to come later to this topic. So now let's use our understanding of slow-release sugar as a springboard to explore how products like isomaltulose can offer technical benefits. And today we are going to deep dive into 3 applications in the confectionery world. And our first focus is on soft chew candies. We'll look at how isomaltulose can enhance indulgence while improving the texture along the shelf life. And then we also explore sports gummies, and here isomaltulose plays a role in creating new textures. And the third application involves coating, both hard and chocolate coatings. And we will discuss how incorporating isomaltulose can save processing time and result in a mellower sweetness profile. And while some of these applications might not directly align with your current product portfolio, the insights gained could be valuable and transferable also to other items in your portfolio. And now almost one important point, so the entire discussion today centers around replacing sucrose. So we're not looking at substituting it with any other ingredient. And we are starting from the back, and I would say let's kick off with a sustainability angle. So specifically, how can we save processing time in a coating? So for instance, consider coating almonds, and which by the way is my go-to snack for mood and mental boost. And we are talking here about a 30% isomaltulose coating. And the interesting part is that isomaltulose crystallizes much faster than standard sucrose. And this can lead to a reduction of up to 50% in coating time. So you're not only achieving efficiency, but also a crunchy and smooth surface that matches the whiteness of a stachelose coating, and with less sweetness. And additionally, we are also exploring rice-based solutions as alternatives to titanium dioxide replacement and gamma radical. From a nutritional standpoint, we like to call these coated almonds Biddy bites, and the mellower sweetness strikes a unique balance between sweet and savory. Plus, isomaltulose is tooth-friendly, which means that the coating not only offers a lower blood sugar spike, but also takes care of the dental health. And now let's shift our focus to chocolate coatings, again using my personal favorite almonds. And in this context, it is less about speeding up the process and more about enhancing the taste experience. And with chocolate coatings, the slightly lower sweetness of isomortulose is key. So it matches the sweetness profile of sucrose, but in a milder form. And this subtle sweetness really allows the authentic cocoa flavors to shine through, so making it particularly well suited for dark chocolate and not infused chocolate varieties. Plus, a nice to have advantage is that it's not sticky. And nutritionally speaking, we see the same benefits in chocolate coatings as we do with hard coatings. The tooth-friendly nature of isomortulose contributes to a healthier snacking options without the rapid blood sugar spikes. And it is not just about almonds. So this application works beautifully with chocolate, lentils, various dried fruits, and a variety of nuts, so offering quite a wide range of possibilities here. Let's turn our attention to another application, soft chewy candies. So here the focus is on what confectionery has always been about, indulgence. And by replacing 30% of sucrose with isomortulose, these candies remain softer for longer and harder more slowly. And this ensures they keep the texture over time. And at the same time, integrating isomortulose into the production process is a quite smooth process because it requires no or minimal changes in the current parameters. And you will also find that it maintains similar properties to the referent products, also including texture and the sweetness profile, so making it quite an easy transition. And nutritionally, this is the chance to embrace the power of small steps. So you can enhance indulgence of your candies while offering the benefit of a lower rise in blood sugar. And as we have gathered from New Nutrition Business, the advantages extend beyond diabetes management. So this approach caters to a broad spectrum of health motivation, including weight wellness, mood enhancement, better sleep, and steady energy levels. And we know that particularly in indulgent confectionaries, consumers prioritize taste over health. And with this product, you have the opportunity to preserve the classic taste and pleasure found in sweets while gently integrating a healthier aspect. And in our concept factory, we've been working on an idea titled Fruit in Tea, Balance Your Inner Strengths. And this concept is all about harnessing the power of nature. So the focus here is on combining the natural goodness of real green tea leaves with the balanced energy release of isomortulose. So it's about creating chewy candies that don't just taste good, but also offer a sense of natural well-being. And the key message of this concept is balance. So we believe that when your blood sugar is imbalanced, so are you. And I'd like to offer you a glimpse into our recipe, and there aren't many unexpected elements, but the inclusion of isomortulose certainly sets it apart. And one of the notable features here is the extended chewing pleasure it offers. So it brings a mild and enjoyable sweetness to the product, enhancing also the overall sensory experience without overwhelming our taste buds with too sweet things. And for market outside the EU, like the US, there's also the additional advantage that with this recipe, you can claim sustained energy on your products. The idea is here to be in tune with your inner self. Let's explore different applications of isomortulose, so focusing on gummies, and especially in the realm of sports nutrition. We've observed the growing trend in this area, with sports confectionery becoming increasingly popular. And sports confection also includes not just the sports for being active, but also esports. And technically, we have a couple of options with isomortulose in gummies. The first is a 30% replacement of saccharose with isomortulose. And this allows for unchanged process parameters and offers a numeric positioning without altering the established process setting. This means maintaining the saccharose-like viscosity and the texture. And the second option involves using isomortulose with sealing. So this method enables a controlled recrystallization that results in a non-sticky, firmer texture, which is ideal for pectin-based candies. It's particularly suited for small batch production, I have to admit, because this does not mean any extra investment, However, for larger batches, additional investment might be needed as this is not a common industry method. From a nutritional standpoint, for sports gummies, it is quite essential that the taste isn't overwhelmingly sweet, and this can be really off-putting during physical activities. Additionally, the non-sticky texture is a must for convenience because athletes certainly don't want sticky fingers while they're exercising. And the slow release properties and the slow release sugar is already well known among endurance athletes. They are quite familiar with this property, and this recipe allows targeting athletes also from a scientific perspective. There has been also notable research, including a publication in the Nature Metabolism discussed in the New York Times Magazine, highlighting how high blood sugar can counteract exercise goals. So this underscores the relevance of a balanced blood sugar in sports nutrition and its potential in supporting athletic performance. Let's take another peek at the creative work coming out of our concept factory. So I'm excited to introduce you the Unstoppable Gummies, and that's a product designed to help you ride the power wave for the next sport adventures. And these gummies are all about harnessing the benefit of lower blood sugar level. And the idea is to fine-tune your body's ability to utilize fat resources for energy. So use the fat for energy. Having explored the various applications of isomaltulose, let's now close that chapter and shift our focus to the regulatory framework. And I would like to focus here on Europe. So it's important to understand how these regulations impact also the use of isomaltulose. I have just provided a simplified overview for a better overview of the claims that we can make in Europe. And from a scientific standpoint, the most robust claim we have, its ability to induce a lower rise in blood sugar levels. Another appealing claim for isomaltulose in confectionery is its tooth-friendliness. There are also general claims available related to carbohydrates, contributing to brain function and recovery in sports nutrition. However, the conditions required to use this claim are quite specific and may not be broadly applicable in a wider confectionery market. Let me take a moment to talk about what Beneo offers beyond sugar replacement. So we have a diverse portfolio that's designed to cater to a range of needs in the food industry. So whether it's about enhancing the shelf life, improving texture, reducing calories, or enriching products with protein, so our solutions are tailored to meet these varied demands. And our ingredients are derived from natural sources, meaning chicory root, sugar beet, rice, wheat, and fava bean, and many more to come. Let's talk about what Beneo's diverse ingredient portfolio means for the confectionery industry. So our range in the confectionery arena is quite extensive. So we offer solutions for various needs, from sugar-free coatings in chewing gum using isomalt to use chicory root fibers for both binding properties and nutritional benefits in this. Our portfolio also includes options for sugar reduction, so no added sugar and fiber enrichment with chicory root fibers and low boilings. And additionally, we're embracing the growing demand for plant-based ingredient options with rice powder and chocolate as a dairy-free alternative, for example. For sugar-free candies, we use isomalt, which is just one example of the solutions we provide. And there are many more offerings that you can see here. So with that, I thank you for your time and attention today. It's been a pleasure sharing our passion and expertise with you. And if you have any questions or you would like to discuss with us, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you so much, Klaudia, for being here with us at Confectionery Live and for sharing some of those insights. What made you want to talk about this topic here with us today?
So for me, it was important to show also that it's not just about sugar reduction, that you also look into other aspects in confectionery. So looking into different kind of sugars, and that sugar is not just sugar. And I see that we need this kind of switch in thinking, as we also saw that happened years ago, decades ago with fat. And so that was important for me to stress this, even though reduction is an important point, but replacing sugar with the slow release sugar was a motivation for me and to bring this up. And I personally love to use this also in my private life with my children. And I'm pretty convinced about it. So that's why I wanted to spread this message around, and also taking my children as a benchmark. Who love that, huh?
Yeah, I can imagine. How easily can your children argue with you when you've got the know-how? Maybe a little bit sometimes.
I don't know how to explain this in English, but my son, he's now 4 years old, and he knows the difference between, let's say, a good sugar and a bad one. So if someone bakes with him a cake, he always said, that's not the most best sugar you could use. You should use another one. And for me, it's also important that they don't get used to this sweetness, so this really high sweetness, so that they grow up having also this moderation about sweetness perception, and that's quite important. So, and that's quite easy also to start educating children really from the beginning.
I think that's fantastic, and I think it's great that you can share that knowledge here today, arguably to an older audience, but still spreading that information. What I find interesting about your presentation, Claudia, is you spoke about maybe there being more balance, and demonstrating that products with sugar in them are still popular in the market. What would you say is most achievable for manufacturers who want to reduce their sugar? Is it reduction? Is it replacement? Is it substitution?
So I would say that it depends also on the confectionery type. So there's not the one magic answer for all confectionery. So I would say, for example, for hard-boiled candies, sugar-free hard-boiled candies is trendy since 30 years. So this is something really interesting. But also for chewy candies, I'm personally a fan of sugar replacement. And for other applications, so maybe for chocolate, I'm more for sugar reduction. Especially for chewy candies, we have in Europe a different regulatory situation than outside of Europe, where sugar reduction is not always easy, so you cannot always combine certain ingredients. So you have to be always careful how much you can eat of these kind of these products at the end, and so that's why I'm always a little bit cautious also with my children. If I give them sugar reduced Haribos or chewy candies, I rather go for sugar replacement here. So really depending on the product itself, but taste is everything, huh? So it beats everything, I would say.
Definitely. And in your presentation as well, you spoke about isomaltulose having good production integration in certain applications. How important do you see this being with manufacturers who want to reduce the amount of sugar, but obviously need to know how it might affect them when processing or formulating products?
I guess that's with most of the products the case. Either we're talking about confectionery or bakery products, the best way you want to have minimal changes in the production, because a change in the production costs money. And in these times where also inflation plays a big role, you don't want to even increase the prices of your products further by changing the production. If it's sustainable, then it's fine. But the ideal way, no production change, I would say.
Absolutely. And are you at the moment exploring creating confectionery products that have fewer ingredients and have cleaner labels? Is that something you're interested in at the moment?
Yes, also in certain applications. So I already started to talk a little bit about the coding, and that we also use the combination, for example, integrating rice starch products in the coating, where you can replace titanium dioxide or gum arabic. And so having, for example, a combination of platinums and rice starch products or rice-based products, you can have a nice whiteness, and eliminating other ingredients.
I definitely enjoyed seeing the examples, and I have to agree with you when you say coated almonds are a great treat, because I'm inclined to agree. Thank you, Klaudia, for speaking with me here at Confectionery Live and for sharing some of your insights into slow release sugars.
Thank you, Caitlin. It was a pleasure.